Is the sky blue? Well, today, very much so. And that question is as pointless as the next one that I'm about to ask. Does Milos Kerkez want to sign for Liverpool? Well, he should have said, mate. We had no idea. The liking of posts that are going on Serbian TV. It's been non-stop. Milos Kerkez, let's call him. He's been twerking for Liverpool for months, but now, in the last few days, it finally feels like we're headed to that breakthrough. I don't think really anyone had any doubts about Milos Kerkez becoming a Liverpool player. I think we have to go all the way back to December the 15th, 2024, when I first mentioned him in an article, and it said something along the lines of, I think that the basis of the article was Andy Robertson had a bad game the day before, and I was thinking who could replace him this summer. Now, what I wrote then was Milos Kerkez is probably the most realistic option. He's young, he's fast, he can defend. And as we're about to find out, those three things are all true. Liverpool and Bournemouth have been locked in talks, should we say, for a while, but it felt like it was never really going anywhere different than Milos Kerkez signing for Liverpool. So let's talk about him. Again, like I said the other day, this video doesn't have a great structure to it. We're just going to talk about Milos Kerkez. We're going to sit, let the breeze come down on us. This is the very location where my good friend Backseat Barry was peering through the windows just here when I was doing that live the other day. Now, I can't do a live tonight. I'm going out tonight. Tomorrow night, maybe. Friday night, maybe. We'll do a live at some point. You can ask loads of questions. You can ask me about who I think Liverpool might sign as a centre-back. Mark Gahey is one that could be considered. Jared Branthwaite, as we mentioned the other day, is that one too tricky? You can ask me, are Liverpool going to sign Anthony Gordon? You can ask me, are Liverpool going to sign Alexander Isak? And we'll come up with them questions then. So a live will be coming soon, but today it's all about Milos Kerkez. I should probably stop being nasty to him, because I should probably try and become friends with him or get close to him, because given the way that he runs his mouth, he'll probably tell me everything about Liverpool, and this YouTube channel will have 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, because it will be packed with dressing room insight and information. Sadly, that's not the case just yet. But 8 goal involvements in the Premier League last season. He's bombing up and down that flank. We will obviously talk about the Andy Roberson conundrum at some point, because that's interesting. How do they fit together? Does Robertson leave? Is it Kerkez and Tsimikas? Is it Kerkez and Robertson? Is it all three of them? You know, we don't really know at the moment, but we will talk about Robertson in a minute. But I've spoke to a few people in the last week, or well, realistically the last month. I've been waiting to put this video out till he signs. I can't wait any longer. I just can't be bothered. It's going on forever now. I was told maybe there was a little legal issue, nothing to worry about, don't worry. A little legal issue that may be holding it up. Told that by a good source, not really checked it out to validate, but maybe that's what's holding it up. Bournemouth obviously holding out for 45 million, Liverpool wanting to pay slightly less. I think a deal will be struck for around 40 million pounds. Obviously Rich Hughes has good relations with his former club Bournemouth. But spoke to a few people, spoke to Adam Bogdan, the former Hungary international, obviously played for Liverpool as well, who knows Milos Kerkez very well. He's now a pundit in Hungary, and he had a lot of good things to say about Milos. I'll read out a couple of them now. He basically said, you know, he's proven with his mentality that he's absolutely top class. He's so eager and self-assured that he belongs at the top. But he sacrificed so much in his youth career. He has a very strong family behind him. He has big dogs that he spends all his time with. Liverpool will soon be the big dogs. His focus is purely on football and family. Brackets, he didn't say this bit, and liking posts about Liverpool on Instagram. Maybe. Goes on to say, a super fun guy, it's always nice to have him around, and he has the self-confidence which is absolutely vital at a top team with these pressures. He's very polite, knows how much he sacrificed. Goes on to say, when he first came into the national team, this is not Adam Bogdan, some other people saying when he first came into the national team, people have told me they were a bit shocked by his attitude in a good way. He was very boisterous, he was very loud. People have said to me, he's not going to take a while to settle into this Liverpool team. It's not like the first 6 months he's going to be quiet. He's going to be straight at it, big mouth in the dressing room in a good way, and getting his, you know, what do you say, getting your ideas across. That's what a manager would do, but you know what I mean. He would be making friends straight away. He won't take any time to settle in. He's not that sort of person. He's an extrovert, although from what I learn about his personality, he's a very calm guy. If he's got 2 weeks off, he'll go back home to Serbia, where he grew up, rather than going on the Ibiza Strip, for example. He said a few times that that's what makes him happy. He could have been a professional swimmer, apparently, and he also likes going fishing. His mum and dad, Sebastian and Tijana, apologies if I've got the pronunciation wrong, they still live with him in Poole, which is near Bournemouth. And the family unit has been very much, from what I understand, very good, grounded for Kerkez in his career. Obviously, he's had a bit of a rocky up and down time in his youth career, from what I've discovered from speaking to people. Spoke to one guy who basically said the reason he didn't make it at Rapid Vienna's academy was maybe attitude problems in a bad way, in terms of maybe he couldn't focus, he was hard to manage, basically. But it seems like he's snapped out of that a little bit in his older age. Went back to Hungary, where his grandparents are from, or at least one of them. Obviously plays his international football for Hungary, and then went to RZ. And I was speaking to a guy who knows RZ very well, and he basically said, I basically asked him, what do you think about this? And he said that the transfer of Owen Wijndal to Ajax in 2021 tells you everything you need to know, because RZ never, ever, ever sell to the big three of Ajax, PSV and Feyenoord because they hate them. But they sold him to Ajax because, well, they were getting 10 million and they knew that they could sign Kerkez to replace him. So that in itself said a lot about RZ. He went on to say it was clear at that point that he had a bright future and his passion shone through. Now, one thing that I would say is that word, passion and eagerness, has come up an awful lot with everyone I've spoken to about Kerkez. I spoke to a guy who works for the local paper in Bournemouth, who's watched every game that he played last season, all 38 of them he played, by the way. And he basically talked about his passion. He said he's very similar to Andy Robertson in the style of play, and he says he's a very, very nice guy. And it does seem that is the way. And going back to people in Hungary, where someone described him to me as a bit of a young horse, you know, a bit of a stallion, like kicking out. I don't know what the young horses do. I don't know, but it seemed like, when I filed the article, and I bet that will be in the headline, young horse. I don't know what a young horse does, but it seems quite an interesting thing to say. But in terms of how he compares to Robertson, well, I've got the stats here. I'll put them up on the screen. It's pretty even, it must be said, in terms of dribbles, interceptions, possession won, progressive carries and matches, goals and assists. Kerkez comes out on top. Now, I actually compared him with Tsimikas and Robertson, and you'd be surprised. So there's about 12, 13 metrics that I compared, and actually Tsimikas wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Robertson only wins 2, and Kerkez 3, 4, 5, 6. Great counting on this. Don't come here for Liverpool content, come here for the counting and the great analysis that I had in last week's video, where I said today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. Well, today's Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday, but we go off on a tangent. Basically, in terms of his attacking, in terms of his 1v1 duels, Kerkez is very good. Now, I suppose, where will he play? Well, obviously he'll play left back, but one thing we did notice about Andy Roberson last season was that he didn't quite bomb forward as much as he has done in years gone by. Now, obviously that is because he's slightly he's the wrong side of 30, let's put it that way. He doesn't have the legs that he once had. We've seen clips of him this week when he was linked with Atletico, and you sort of think, wow, he was good, wasn't he? And he was obviously one of the best left-backs in Premier League history, but now he's maybe just lost his legs slightly. He's been being beaten at the back post a few too many times. He's lost his man a few too many times. But that being said, I don't think Robertson has had a terrible season, but clearly Liverpool needed to upgrade. And I think if you look on the market for left-backs, who is there out there really? I mean, City just signed Ryan Aït-Nouri. Good left-back. Milos Kerkez, is he better than Aït-Nouri? Well, not watched enough of either of them to make that fully comparison, but in terms of Liverpool's style, the way that Slot wants to use him, I think Liverpool have got a good deal. Obviously, I think City have got a good deal on Aït-Nouri, but I would say that. And then obviously, I think Slot really loved the way that PSG's fullbacks play, Achraf Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. I never know whether to actually go through with the Portuguese pronunciation or not, but the way Nuno Mendes plays, just bombing up and down that flank. I remember when I was watching him, I think it was in PSG Villa, and my mate who I was watching with turned to me and said, hang on a minute, where is that Nuno Mendes playing? Because he was so far forward. And Slot mentioned that as well. We were asking him about Conor Bradley, compared him a bit to Hakimi. He said he loved the way that PSG's fullbacks play, and I think that is definitely something that Liverpool are going to be looking to do in this coming season. Frimpong on that side, or Bradley, Kerkez on that side. Again, not sure what's going to happen. Robbo, we're not sure what Robbo wants to do. Simicast has come out today and spoke about his future. I'll put the quote up here. Actually, no, I probably won't. Can't be bothered with too much editing. And yeah, we're not sure what Liverpool are going to do with their left-back situation. But one thing that is sure is that Milos Kerkez will be coming in. So, I mean, there's not really much to say about it other than it's a good signing for Liverpool. And 40 million, it's a fair whack for someone that's only been in the Prem for 2 years, but he's 21. This is what we said on Verts. I think it's worth it. His injury record's very good as well, which is worth saying. He's the second Hungarian that Liverpool have signed this summer after Armin Pesci. Again, apologies on the pronunciation. Bogdan, by the way, was very complimentary. He said, Pesci, intelligent, calm, eager, he can be special. So I don't think that one is one that Liverpool are signing just to make up the numbers. I think that he is one that they really see a big future for. Obviously, not everyone in the academy can make it, but maybe he can. But Pesci's one for the future. Kerkez is one for the future as well, but he's also here for now. We don't know what's going to happen with Robbo and Simicast, but Kerkez is the main man now, and I think it's a brilliant piece of business. A massive gust of wind just came past, so I was worried about my phone falling over. So I'll wrap up the video there. As I say, live at some point in the next few days. I want to do a video about Giovanni Van Bronckhorst at some point in the next few days. I'm speaking to people now, speaking to his camp, speaking to people who know him at Rangers, speaking to people who know him from his days at Feyenoord, and hopefully get a look at what he's going to be doing at Liverpool. And then if you guys have any ideas for videos, just let me know. But as I said on Twitter the other day, I go to Hong Kong and Japan in about 4 weeks' time, and I'll be doing daily videos on the tour. So make sure you're subscribing, tell your mates. I'm just over 3,000. I'd like to be, I'm not going to set a goal actually because it'll just look silly if I don't get it, but I'd like to grow that slightly before the start of the football season. But that's a video about Kerkez, 14 minutes, so see you next time.